Hello everyone, this is Lakshmi Ganesh Bavaraju. I welcome you all to our YouTube channel Vector X Academy. Today we are gonna discuss the toughest questions possible in kinematics in an easy and simplified and interesting way. In the previous video, we have dealt with some unique problems in projectile. I hope you enjoyed the video. In today's video of Aswadhama 1.0, we are gonna really deal with the brainstorming problems in kinematics. The problems look tough when you study by yourself or when you do by yourself, but once you start doing with me and listen to me carefully, these problems are going to help you a lot in your JEE Advanced examination. At an end, it will improve your conceptual clarity and mathematical ability in physics. Let's see what are the topics that we are going to cover in today's video. We are going to do mathematical analysis of complex kinematics problems. At the same time, we are going to do analysis of resistive forces and then complex accelerated systems, and then I'll try to bring the concept of video if we have time, if time permits, because these problems are so interesting that it will take time. I don't want you to take a lot of stress in the video itself. So we will have some other video in which I'll be explaining some unique concepts. And as it is, we have a homework problem at the end that I'll be dealing at last of the entire kinematic series. So without any delay, let's see the first question. A semi-cylindrical groove of radius r is equal to 20 centimeters is made on a horizontal floor. Okay. An ant wants to cross the groove. A boy decides to help the ant, making the bridge consisting of straight wire segments. Okay, these are the straight wire segments, I think. But all the wires available are of length 38 centimeters. So the boy rigidly connects two wires at right angle and places the bridge in the groove as shown in the figure. If the ant crawls up a wire segment at speed v is equal to 0.5 centimeter per second and down a wire segment at a speed 2v, in what minimum time can the ant cross the groove with the help of this bridge? A very beautiful question taken from Pathfinder once again. So let's see. First of all, whenever you have this kind of time problems, even I want you to remember this problem in Irodo, in which the bridge is there and then it needs to go through this particular field and then again reach. What is the minimum possible time taken by that particular car to do this? So while you are dealing with such type of questions, you need to concentrate on the geometry. Let's say this is x. For suppose I'm considering the system like this. Let's go to the next page for more clarity. Let's say this is this cylindrical groove, semi-cylindrical groove. Okay. Let's say they said it's 90 degrees, right? We need to be careful. So this is 90 degrees, let's say, and then let's say this is 2r. Okay. Let's say this portion is x, this portion is y. Okay, I'm assuming they're of different lengths. I'm not saying like they both are equal. Okay, because some portion of it may be outside, some portion of it may be inside, but whatever is outside and inside, I'm taking them as x and y respectively. Now for this particular condition to satisfy by Pythagoras theorem, we can say x square plus y square is equal to 4r square. Got the point? Now from here, I can make the entire system into a single variable, that is x. So that becomes root of 4r square minus x square. So indirectly I tried to remove the variable y because I already know the radius of the cylindrical groove. Right, they said it's 20 centimeters. Now the question comes, time. Write the time equation. X, length by velocity. So it is going down. They said it goes with speed 2v and climbs up with a speed v. So y by v. So substitute the y here. So x by 2v plus y is nothing but root of 4r square minus x square by v. Now, if you want it to be minimum, right, time period to be minimum, first of all, you need to differentiate with respect to x and get it to 0. So that will be equal to 1 by 2v plus 1 by 2 root times of 4r square minus x square times of 1 by v into minus 2x. That if I equate to 0 and then solve for x, I'll get the equation of x. So I am giving the mathematical part on you. You should solve. And I'm going to say you what will be the value of x. The value of x will be root of 4 by 5 times of r. Now see, is this the only place that we should calculate the time period, or else we should check the time period at some other places of x also. How to know that? So for suppose, see, the values of x are ranging from, see, the entire x, like we cannot have the entire length downward, we can make it as 0, okay, and then 38 centimeters is the maximum length. We can keep the entire x on single way, like downward, or else we can keep no x and only have 38 slantedly, like another y slantedly. So the x boundaries are between 0 to 38. Did you get it? And then this x is between both of them. So when I need to check for the maxima and minima conditions, I need to check at the boundaries at the same time this critical point also. So let's check what will be the time period at x is equal to 0. We got the equation of time period be x by 2v plus y by v. So let's keep x is equal to 0. So that goes off, and then we have root of 4r square minus 0 by v. So 2r by v. So time period becomes 2r by v. If you solve this, 40 by v is 0.5. That gets you 80 seconds. Now let's see the next case. Let's take it as x is equal to root 4 by 5 times of r. Okay, r is 20. If you do that, you get the value of x to be 17.8 centimeters if you are using some calculator. Okay, if you substitute the value of x 17.8 centimeters in the particular equation of time period, that is x by 2v 17.8 by 2v plus root of 4r square, r is again 20, minus 17.8 whole square by v, that is 0.5, you get this particular time period, that is 89 seconds. If you solve this, you'll get to be 89 seconds. So what did you get beta? This is not the minimum time period, because here only you got 80, here it's 89. So don't get like always stick like dt by dx is equal to 0. At that point only I'll get something. You don't know what you will get. You may get maxima or minima. So you need to check the boundaries also. So now let's check at t is equal to like x is equal to 38. For suppose I'm keeping the entire length downward without having any external portion outside, then what happens? T becomes 63 seconds if you calculate. So what did you get? If I wanted to draw this condition as a graph, let's draw the graphical condition so that you will get the ability of graphs also to draw and analyze graphs. Let's say it as t and x. So when did we get maxima? It is at x is equal to 17.8. So what is 38 by 2? It's 19. So then middle, some portion over here, you got maximum value. That maximum value is 89. Okay. And t and x generally are a quadratic, so it resembles or something a parabola, and x is equal to 0, you have 80 seconds. When x is equal to maximum, that is 38, you have very less, that is 63 seconds over here, let's say at this particular point. Now if you try to draw the graph of this particular thing, you get this type of graph. So x is equal to 38, it is having minimum time period of 63 seconds. So what are the conclusions that you can give from this particular question? You can derive a beautiful conclusions. So whenever they are asking you, for suppose this conclusion, you can use it on any particular condition. For suppose they are saying it's a semicircular groove of this particular length, that particular length. If you need to have minimum time period, then you need to have entire length for going down. So entire length should be used to go down if you want t to be minimum. And then this is the mathematical analysis that you should do for t minimum. Okay, if you want minimum. For maximum time period, if you do dt by dx is equal to 0 or something, you may get, or else in the boundaries you may get. So always don't believe the condition that dt by dx is equal to 0 gives you the minimum or maximum. You need to check at the boundaries also, then you will come to know which is maximum and which is minimum. I hope you learned beautiful things from this particular question. Let's go to another more beautiful question in which we are gonna deal the viscous forces in the projectile. So simple beta, read the question first. A marble is projected in a viscous fluid, okay, with the initial speed u at an angle theta. They are giving an angle theta, okay, About the horizontal, okay, sir, that is also fine. Now, drag force. What is this particular drag force? Drag force is nothing but the viscous force, okay, of the fluid results in an acceleration. Av is equal to minus kv. What is this? Av is equal to minus kv. It is indirectly saying that you are having an additional vertical component of acceleration, that is minus kv, okay, in addition to that of gravity. Okay, wow, there is a gravity also acting, where k is a positive contact and v is the velocity of marble. Excellent, I understood it. Now determine the position coordinates of x and y components of velocity of the marble as a function of time t, and what is the terminal velocity. Very beautiful question. Because if you understand this question, I guess this type of questions are gonna come for JEE Advanced. Very, very important. The analysis you do for terminal velocity, the analysis you do for viscous force. I guess in JEE Advanced 2021 or something, there is this particular condition in which they said this is the projectile, and then till then the gravity is something. After that, the gravity is changed due to some viscous force. What will be the new range? That type of question already came once. So I think the application of resistive force is important. I guess you need to learn this particular concept for doing good. So for suppose how to deal this particular concept of viscous force. Let's say this is x and y. So first of all, I want you to understand what is terminal velocity. So for suppose, what I mean by terminal velocity. So when you are having this projectile, okay, for suppose take x and y coordinates and then just draw this, like let's assume this to be the origin, and then if the projectile like this, and after some particular time, it should have almost vertically downward, its velocity should be almost vertically downward. It means the mg component of this particular mass should be equal to the vertical force, and that particular one we call it as terminal velocity. M into acceleration, okay, acceleration is kvt as mentioned. So this particular conditions gives you g is equal to kvt. So from here I get the constant value k, that is nothing but g by vt. Okay, forget about this. Now let's analysis the system. Let's say this is v will also have vxi cap plus vyj cap. For clarity I'm writing it as vxi cap plus vyj cap, and then this is fr, right? And then you will have mg acting vertically downward. Now for suppose, what I want, for suppose let's consider along the x-axis first. For suppose ax is equal to minus fx, that is nothing but minus viscous force. Let's say it as minus kvx into m by m. So simply the horizontal acceleration becomes minus kvx. Now they want velocity, right? They want velocity, they want as a function of time. So from here I'll write dvx by dt is equal to minus k times of vx. So if I integrate, so write it down carefully. I am doing the next calculation here. So dvx by x is equal to minus k times of dt. And then you need to write dvx by vx is equal to minus k times of dt. Now, initially what can I do? Vx is nothing but u cos theta initially, and let's now find Vx as Vx. Okay, initial is u cos theta and Vx becomes Vx. Initial time period is 0 and final time period becomes t. When you solve this particular system, you get Vx. How do you get Vx? You get Vx as u cos theta into e power minus gt by vt. Solve it better. Okay. Now for this particular, how I replaced g k with g by vt. Okay. Now if you want to write it simply, you can write it as u cos theta is equal to e power minus kt. This is the equation of vx. Okay, you got the equation of vx. Now let's try for vy. This particular portion is difficult. So minus m into ay in the vertical direction, you're gonna have the viscous force Fvy plus mg. So both of them are downward because they resist the motion of that particular ball. So minus m times of ay is equal to Fvy. Fvy is nothing but Kvy plus mg. So simply I can say minus ay is equal to k vy by m plus g. Now if you want it to be solved, again minus d vy by dt is equal to k vy plus g. K, can I write it as how? We already found the value of k to be g by vt, I guess, if I'm not wrong. So g by vt plus g. So if I take it, minus integral dvy by vy by vt plus 1 is equal to plus 1 is equal to integral g times of dt. Now if I solve this particular equation with the limits, let's say for suppose initially it's, what are the components, like initially let us say it's uy and finally let's say it's vy. Okay, let's say uy and vy. Okay, if you substitute that, you get ln of, I'm doing the calculation in the second one, so if I do that, I'll get ln of vy plus vt by uy plus, this is vt. Okay, uy plus vt is equal to e power minus gt by Vt. So if I solve this, I can write Vy as, okay, Uy plus Vt e power minus Gt by Vt minus Vt. So this will become Vy. Let's say they are asking to find the displacements or coordinates also. Let's say 0 to y times of d Vy or dx by dt or dy by dt will give you, you need to differentiate this with integrate this with respect to time. Then you will get the coordinates of the projectile, the y coordinate of the particular projectile. So just do that and then you will get the y coordinate as, I am leaving the integration upon you and I am giving you the direct result, g by k square plus v sine theta by k. Okay, because uy is v sine theta, and then this will be 1 minus e power minus kt. Always remember beta, g by vt is nothing but k, we already did that, by gt by k. Okay, now what will be the x coordinate? For suppose that is much simpler, I guess, because x is very simple. We got vx as something. How much? Where is x? So just do it here. Dx by dt. So integral dx 0 to x is equal to integral u cos theta into e power minus kt. Just you will get dt. So if you solve it, you will get finally the x as, I'm writing here, the x as u cos theta by k times of 1 minus e power kt. This is the case. So there is another beautiful question in Pathfinder based on the resistive forces only. That particular question is very important for JEE Advanced. It says that I have a cannon and mountains are there, and then if I'm firing a bullet or bomb for cannon, there is an enemy camp exactly down. It should hit the enemy camp, so that what will be the distance that I should keep or the range of that particular projectile. So I guess that is BYU 22 or something of kinematics in Pathfinder. You can try that, and let's see the last question. And wow, the beautiful question, I love these questions because whenever I see such type of questions while solving them, physics always makes me enthusiastic. So I get enthusiasm while solving this type of questions, and at last, at that particular point in which you solve the question, you'll love physics, Jude. You'll completely love physics. So that's why don't see them as problems. See them as something that you are learning. Try to learn something from everything. Because at beginning, no one can be perfect. Okay, we are also not perfect. We all learned physics from our teachers who taught us like this, and then we developed ourselves by solving various other books and something. So you are also in the process. Don't get demotivated by seeing the toughness. Just take this as a motivation. Just try to learn something new, and whenever this concept comes, okay, this type of questions definitely comes in your weekend test, or else I can say probably even in JEE Advanced. So you need to be able to solve. That is what important. So don't feel bad if you are unable to solve these questions at a single go. Okay, because these questions are not easy. And yes, congratulations if you are doing that, because your mathematical ability in physics is so good. So keep doing like that only. And for the students who are unable to solve, just follow our videos, just try to learn, keep a notes along with the video, and then everything will be normal. You guys need not worry. Okay, now let's read the question. A stick KB of length L stands vertically on a horizontal floor, leaning on a wall. Very good, it's leaning on a wall. A beetle P climbing the stick from the floor. Very good. When the beetle starts climbing, the lower end B of the sticks, oh, is made to move away from the wall with a constant velocity V. Very good. This question, it's been almost many days I solved this question. The beetle climbs the stick with a constant velocity U relative to the stick. Very good. If the upper end A does not leave the wall, what the maximum height can beetle rise? See, first of all, this is one of the toughest question I would say. In the three questions that we have solved till now, this particular third question is very tough. So try to understand carefully, and it's very interesting also. First, suppose three conditions are possible. What are the three conditions? The ant must have reached this particular height, like complete height, the hand must have reached, or else the hand must have stopped somewhere in the middle only, and that can be h max. So what will be the various conditions for this? Here you should get two conditions. So just listen, forget all about this and just listen. Okay, what I'm gonna solve, I'm gonna make some magics here. So just carefully listen. Okay, for suppose I'm taking at any condition t. Okay, let's say this is the system. Okay, they said this is having vt. Initially the entire stick will be like this, right? Like vertical. Slowly it will start moving, right? This is moving with velocity v. So that can I say this is vt, the distance covered is vt. And then let's say p is up to here, that the beetle has raised up to p, and during that particular time, let's say ut. Okay, and they said this is l. Very good. Now just let's say this is h, like let's say this is the maximum height h. So from this, what can I say, beta? H by ut is equal to sine theta. Just see the triangle there. Yes sir, got the point. Now what will be cos phi? Very good. So l cos phi is the distance, right, that we equated to vt. Now because this end is moving with velocity v, so l cos phi I equated it to vt. So we get here t is equal to l by v cos phi. Oh, L cos phi by V if I'm not wrong. So we get L cos phi by V. Now, if I substitute this particular T in the first equation, you get H is equal to UL by 2V, right? UL by 2V times of sine theta. Actually, you'll get UL by V times of sine theta into cos theta, right? If I'm multiplying this 2 and then dividing with 2, I get the equation of h as ul by 2v times of sine 2 phi. Just be careful. Okay, I'm doing magics here. So for suppose I want the height to be maximum. If I want the height to be maximum, by simply I can say, what can I say? Sine 2 phi should be equal to 1, right? So that becomes when phi is equal to 45. So here lies the condition. The h max becomes ul by 2v. I have no issue when phi is equal to ul by 2v. Let's keep this again. Like when phi is equal to 45, you get h is equal to ul by 2v. Forget about this. So you are saying when phi is equal to 45, the maximum height reached by is ul by 2v. So what are the various conditions possible for it? Now let's say the ant has stopped in the middle only. So let's say at any some other conditions. Okay, let's say it has reached the wall. Finally it has reached. Let's say this is ut dash, this is vt dash, this is h dash. Can I say ut dash cos phi, that is nothing but, let's say the angle is phi in this condition, not theta, is equal to L cos phi, that will be equal to Vt dash. From here I can say V by U is equal to cos phi. Hmm. Got it. Very good. Now h dash is nothing but, from Pythagoras theorem you will get, that is nothing but root of ut square minus vt square. Let's say the entire length it has covered, that particular and. So that will be L square minus vt dash square, vt dash ka whole square. Now how can I write t dash? T dash is nothing but L cos phi. L cos phi is nothing, cos phi is again nothing but, very good, it's V by U. So when you remove this particular term, you get here L times of V by U ka whole square. Because Vt dash is nothing but L cos phi is nothing but V by U. That only I did. Yes, sir. Now if you just take L constant, or if you have, right, if you remove L outside, now you get L times of, L times of root of 1 minus V square by U square. So when will this happen? So listen carefully, beta. When cos phi is greater than 45 degrees, the ant will reach the maximum height. In the sense, it will reach UL by 2V if cos phi is greater than 45, or else phi is greater than 45. What I meant is, okay, so cos phi should be greater than cos 45. So cos phi is nothing but V by U is greater than 1 by root 2. So can I say when V root 2 is greater than U, that particular ant, it can be equal to this one also, reaches the maximum height UL by 2V, that it completely covers the height. Okay, when phi is less than 45, it will stop at this particular height. So you have two conditions here. The H max will be nothing but UL by 2V when U is less than or equal to root 2V, and then it will reach a height of L times of root 1 minus V square by U square when U is greater than root 2V. So you need to take two possibilities here. It must have climbed the particular wall without even the stick falling down. At that time it will be UL by 2V. Okay. It must have stopped at some particular height only, H max, without climbing the entire thing. That condition will be L times of root of 1 minus V square by U square. And then for that, U should be greater than root 2V. So this particular conditions are very, very important. Many people fail while solving this particular questions. They don't know how two condition comes. So this is the two conditions. Again, let me explain you what are the two conditions. First condition is nothing but it must have reached the wall before complete, like it must have, without completely falling, it must have reached this particular height. Okay, when it is possible, they're saying it's possible when phi is greater than or equal to 45. Okay, so because phi is cos phi, and then u is directly h is directly proportional to cos phi. When you bring the equations, you will get that. So when phi is greater than 45, this particular ant must have reached ul by 2. So for that condition, we have brought what is the relation for u and v. When phi is less than less than 45, it must have stopped at some particular height. That's the condition you must bring. So in that particular thing, we have already derived what is height. So these are the two different conditions that you need to remember. This is a very beautiful question from Pathfinder. You cannot find the solutions in net also because it's such a tough question. So I think you have learned something from all these three videos. Okay, don't feel bad if you are unable to understand this. Okay, try to just concentrate on whatever I said in the class. You must not, like, if you are unable to solve it on a single go, listen. Try to practice it multiple times. Try to get this in your mind because there are multiple concepts on this particular question only. They will say, okay, this is not a particular beetle or something. I'll say there is a particular point P and then it is sliding with velocity V. What is the maximum height reached by the particular point? There is this particular type of questions in Sashibhushan Tiwari. Even the concept actual video that I did in previous class, concept of the day, that's also a level 3 question, okay? So you need not worry. This type of questions will bring your conceptual clarity. Don't worry. So let's see homework problem. So solve this homework problem. Let's discuss this in the separate video. After, even in the next video, I'm gonna bring some good questions. I'm not gonna bring this type of tough questions. Let's go to the medium level and then solve some very much relevant questions of JEE Advanced. Okay, a cylindrical pipe of radius r is rolling towards a frog sitting on a horizontal ground. Center of the pipe is moving with a constant velocity v. Very good. To save itself, the frog jumps and passes over the pipe, touching it only on the top. See, this particular question I already dealt. It is similar, but here they're asking you to find range and everything, time period and everything. So this particular question is also taken from Pathfinder. See, every question that I'm dealing in the class is not tough. It just requires your attention. If you are able to give that, I think you got success. Okay. Don't again I'm saying, but don't get demotivated by seeing the level of the questions. Just try to learn them. And if you are doing that, you're already in the path of success. There will be very few people who will be turning till the end of the video because they can't even understand what I'm doing. But the people who have watched it till the end of the video, it means they have put their efforts to understand, they have put their efforts to solve. That's sufficient for success. So I wish you all the best, and I'll see you in the next video. And thank you for listening me and bearing me for this long. And please do subscribe, share, comment, and share it to your friends so that they get the maximum help out of it. So please do support me by subscribing it. I'll bring with some more unique content in the next video, and waiting to see you all in the next video soon. Bye guys.